Yo, what is going on, everybody, and welcome to a long anticipated and highly sought out and asked for video by the man himself, Diddy, Dementia Dreaming. We're going to talk about masteries today. So what we're going to cover today is beginner, intermediate, advanced masteries. Different ways that you can tweak your advanced masteries depending on game mode, depending if you want damage, depending if you want to shut down the opponent, depending if you want those really annoying mystic defenders to be OP. We're going to cover it all. So this is the one be all and end all mastery guide. You will not need another mastery guide ever. So please guys, if you do enjoy this, make sure to hit the like button, leave a comment, share it with your dog, your friends and family. I don't give a damn, just share it around. Do this little scrub a favor. So let's not waste any time. On the left hand side here we have the Aunt May Masteries guide. So if you do want to play around and you don't want to change your masteries in the game and you just want to have a little test run, Aunt May is the website and there will be a link in the bottom of the description. So let's not muck around, let's go beginner masteries. Let's get started. So first thing that we want to work on is proficiencies. So I do believe that we go in reverse order. We don't start with offense, defense, we go proficiencies, then work our way to defense, then go offense. So what I'm going to do if I'm starting out in the game, first thing you want is 1 point in parry. Done. Parry is essential. You want to be able to parry champions, reduces incoming block damage. Next thing, we're going to work on limber. Not necessary at the start of the game. We don't really care about this, but it's a necessary evil. Rank 1 out of 5 for limber. One and done. Next thing we want, so we can help to avoid face blocks, getting hit by unblockable specials or really annoying freaking champions. We're gonna go dexterity. Now this is a mastery that we're never ever gonna touch again. Rank 1 out of 3 is a one and done. We just leave it, okay guys? Now next thing we're gonna look at is stupefy. Stuns last longer. Great, we need it. Bam. Proficiencies, done. Now, what we're going to look at, we're going to look at defense. These are very stock standard, bare bones masteries. I don't really give a damn about these, but it's all working towards the end goal. First one, we got vitality, increases health. Don't care, rank 1 out of 9. Gonna leave it there, greater vitality. Rank 1 out of 9, guess what? Gonna leave it there. Now, as I'm going through these, I'm trying to make it in a way that you're not gonna have to undo, redo, spend gold, spend units again. We kind of just want to set you up in the beginning to get through the game at a comfortable pace without wasting your damn resources. Because we all know how valuable they are. Unless you're a mighty filthy whale, you can just buy all the units you want and get these all sorted. But best thing in defense, and this is one that you want to have ranked out straight away. Rank 4 out of 4 block proficiency. We want this as high as damn possible, guys. Done. Now, 1 point in Sal. Not really gonna make a difference, but it's all about the end goal, guys and girls. So we're gonna chuck 1 point in salve and we're gonna leave it right there. Now offense, guess what, we want our champions to do a little bit of damage, you know. Little bit of damage is better than no damage, so we're gonna go through and put a 1 out of 9 for strength. Greater strength, we're gonna drop a 1 out of 9 also. Now piercing courage, I wouldn't really worry about it. Nah, a bit of extra attack when you're dying. Don't really care about it, not necessary. Pierce, we do need a rank 1 out of 3. And now the next two that we're looking at, lesser precision, boom, rank 1 out of 5, we leave it there. Lesser cruelty, bam, rank 1 out of 5, and we leave it there. Guys, guess what? You're a beginner, you've got your mastery sorted. This is all you need to worry about as a beginner. If you can cover all of these bases as a beginner, if you can cover all of these bases as a beginner and your masteries, and you can pretty much progress through to uncollected. More than likely, this is honestly all you will need. It covers everything that you will need for the basic premise of the game. You don't have to spend too many resources, because guess what? In the beginning, you probably need to spend resources on potions, revives, energies, and plus unlocking these can get really expensive. So this is my beginner guide to masteries. Now, let's take that one step further. Let's go to intermediate. If I was an intermediate player in the game, this is what I would want my masteries to look at. it does start getting costly. So if you look at ArtMate, it will tell you the exact cost and price it is to unlock these, plus retrain them, yada, yada, yada. Let's get into it. Intermediate. So first thing I'm going to start as an intermediate, I'm going to look at maxing out parry. More damage reduction, longer stuns. Next thing, guess what? Longer stuns are better stuns. So we're going to max out Stupefy. As I said before, dexterity is going to stay right there. Now, Limber is one that I do like to run either 4 out of 5 or 5 out of 5. Really does help in the long run. If your champions do get stunned, you want those stuns to be as short as possible. Guess what? It's gonna happen. So I like to run Limber 5 out of 5. Proficiency's done. Intermediate proficiencies, we've got them sorted. Now we go into the defense. Now defense is a bit of a tricky one. We're kind of just building up to the end game mastery build. So we've got our block proficiency sorted. The next thing I like to do is I like to look at recovery. If I can get a 3 out of 3 in recovery, dude, that's increasing all the regen, buff, or freaking passive that we're gonna gain by 15%. That is massive. That is absolutely massive. We have 2 other options here. Me personally, I like to run perfect block. To gain a percentage of perfect block chance, to me, is more important at 4 out of 4 than stand your ground and resisting a heavy attack or a block break. So it's a bit, depends on what you really want to do, but me personally, stand your ground can stay out of it. This is it for defense. Guess what? You're now an intermediate defender. Now, offense. Super simple. We got 2 steps here. So now we've done the lesser precision and we've done the lesser cruelty. We want those big crits and we want those freaking crits often. So the next step is building out precision and cruelty to rank 5 out of 5. We've got 41 out of 59 points used. Guess what? We're looking pretty damn good. And this will probably help you in your run to Cav. If I was a Cav player and I had these masteries, I would be pretty damn confident, you know? That's intermediate covered. We've got everything sorted. But we want to make that step further. We want to push into that advanced territory. We think we're going pretty damn good, you know. Our champions, we can handle them. We've got a few units stashed up. We've got a few mastery cores. Maybe we bought an offer. Who knows? He might be a blubbery whale. Now, advanced masteries. So, if we're looking at a non-recoil based masteries, which we will get into after we cover this, I'm looking at jumping into despair. Despair is absolutely mandatory for reducing healing and regeneration effects. It is massive come the end game. I don't think you'll see a single player who is an advanced player in BG's war, anything not running despair. Rank 3 out of 3 for despair. Now, we've got a deep wounds here. We don't really care about this for now. We can leave this at 1 out of 3. Sure, we have some bleeding champions, but we want the next one after this. We want assassin. So enemies below 18% health, guess what? You're gonna get an increase in attack and to reduce their defensive ability accuracy. Be careful, because this can shoot you in the foot. Say for example, things rock stacks. Might get a little bit tricky, but we're gonna leave that at 1 out of 1. It is handy to have, especially on long boss fights. Proficiencies. Guess what? We want a nice balanced proficiencies run. Me personally, I start looking at Mystic Dispersion. You can also run Petrify and Pacify. It's up to you. Me personally, what I'd like to do is, I like to see MD at least 3 out of 4. Sorry, 3 out of 5. Or 4 out of 5. Sometimes having too much power and too much responsibility is not a good thing. So if you can kind of keep a good balance between 3 or 4, tinker with it, see how you go. If not, come back to the video and just freaking listen to me ramble on about it. So let's say we leave MD at 3 out of 5. We've got 10 points left. We have 10 points left, which is quite a lot of points. What I do like to run is some Petrify. When they're stunned, decrease in regeneration and power gain can come in handy. Try it and let me know. Pacify. Also reduce their ability accuracy, so for annoying freaking twats like Domino, Atuma, anything, this will help you. So we can run that at a 2 out of 3. We still have 6 points. Guess what? We're going over to defense here, and we want this willpower. But before we can get this willpower, we're gonna need 1 more point. That 1 more point, you can put it wherever the hell you want, but I do like putting it in stand your ground. Just that 1 point. Now we go over to willpower. This is massive. Any debuffs your champion will get, you will heal from them, a percentage back. So guess what we want in this? We want this maxed out. We want 3 out of 3 in willpower. We have 2 points left. As I said, you could run more MD, but we'll get there. For an MD build, we're gonna get there, trust me. What I like to do is put 1 point into Coagulate. 10% less damage from any bleed debuff. Guess what? There's certain champions like Omega Red or Magneto Red who have 90% resistance to bleed. That extra 10% will make sure you are taking 0 damage from that. We have 1 point left. Guess what? Doesn't really matter where we stick it, but this is a balanced Masteries guide, right? So what I would do for a balance is just chuck this last point into Inequity or into MD. So it's completely up to you. I'll leave that in your hands. Me personally, guess what I would do? I have quite a few debuff heavy champions. If I can reduce the enemy's attack passively by 2% for each debuff, guess what? It's gonna add up over time. There we go. Guess what? You're an advanced summoner who doesn't run recoils, but you've got the perfect mastery setup to get you through the rest of the game. If you never want to touch these masteries ever again, guess what? You can leave it. You're done. One and done. Now, say you've got a lot of annoying Mystic champions, and you want these Mystic champions to absolutely gain a ridiculous amount of power. When the opponent's buffs expire, you can take out points in Inequity and Coagulate and chuck them in MD. You can also, if you do want to leave your Coagulate and MD, because you do like how they work with your champions, you do like that little bit of bleed reduction, you can also just take out a point in Petrify and Pacify. You're still going to get a little bit of benefits from when you stun the opponent's champions, right? There you go. Guess what? You're now one of the annoying people that run max Mystic Dispersion in BG's Alliance War. Freaking AQ, it also helps you. In questing, guess what? It's going to help you too. So this is DD's Mystic Dispersion non-recoil build. Sometimes we have bleeding champions. Say like Hitmonkey, Moleman, Nick Fury. Guess what? They really benefit from deep wounds. We still want to keep the basic premise of our build. We don't want to take away all our Mystic Dispersion, but we need 4 points here. So if I'm looking at taking 4 points out of things, maybe I'll take 1 out of Inequity, but I don't want to change this build. Let's go MD. Let's run a 3 out of 5. Let's take Petrify, boom, done. Pacify, boom, done. Guess what? We have 4 extra points. So if we run bleed heavy champions, we can now take deep wounds up to 5 out of 5. And trust me guys, it makes a difference. Try keeping up your bleed stacks with Wolverine Weapon X. With no deep wounds, I can guarantee you it's not going to work out too well for you. So we're at 59 out of 59. And I'm pretty sure that covers all of the basic non-recoil builds. As I say, a lot of points are interchangeable. Some people might like some energy resistance. Me personally, I don't think it makes that big of a difference. Some people might like some physical resistance. Me personally, I don't think it makes that much of a difference. You can always alternate your perfect block with your stand your ground. Don't know why you would, but it's up to you. These things, it's pure skill. Don't think it's needed. Mutagenesis, don't think it's needed. Collar Tech. If you run a very tech heavy roster, I can understand and see where this is useful. But guess what? Not necessary, not needed. Science. Don't want energy resistance just for science champions. We want to make sure that every single champion benefits from these masteries as much as possibly that they can. Don't know if that made sense, and I don't care. I'm leaving it in there. Also, cosmic awareness, I don't care. guys, save your loyalty. There's much better things. Now that we got 7 stars in the freaking loyalty crystals and the loyalty store, guess what? Save your damn loyalty wherever you can. MD is the only one that you want to spend your cores in. You get the purple cores, you feed them into here. Now, I want to use recoils. I feel like I don't mind losing a little bit of health, yeah? I want to use recoils. I want the extra damage. So that's this little tree up here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take off Mystic Dispersion for this build. We'll have a tinker around later. Limber. Depending on how you want to work this, guys. Let's go for a balanced recoil deck. So we still want a little bit of limber. Nothing else is going to change here. Inequity, guess what? Get out of here for now. Recoils. We need quite a few points in here. So we're going to reset the deep wounds. We're running a 1 out of 5. So for the recoils, we need 1 point in glass cannon. This is obviously going to cut down your health to add the attack. If you don't care about your health pool, guess what? You can max out glass cannon. We will get there. We will get there. We just want recoils. We want this damage and we want it now. Now, this is probably the worst ever mastery point that you can put into, but it's 100% necessary. Do not ever put more than rank 1 out of 3 for recoil. Every single time your champions throw a special, they will lose 5% health. Not ideal, guys, not ideal. Liquid Courage. This is liquid gold. Notice it gives you a poison debuff. Rank 3 out of 3. You get 30% attack bonus. Double edge. Notice you get a bleed. It's not indefinite like the poison, but it will tick you down over time. We want 3 out of 3. 30% here, 30% there. Oh my freaking god. Let's go, guys. We've got big damage now. Now, we've got 1 point left. Me, personally, I like to run the extra 1 point in Coagulate. But if you didn't want to reset this defensive tree, guess what? You could just leave the 1 point in Inequity. There we go. You are now a damage dealing monster. Yeah, you're going to lose a little bit of health. That's fine. We don't care about that. Lose a little bit of health. That's all good. We just want that damage and we want it yesterday. Now, let's say if we want to run Mystic Dispersion and recoils. We have Mystic champs. We want the big damage. How can we make this work? How can we possibly make this work? Guys, guess what? I've got something to show you. So first thing we're going to do is take off Assassin. Bam, done. Take off Deep Wounds. Bam, done. Despair. I'm sorry, but I'm gonna have to let you go. We're gonna leave it at 1 out of 3, so we still get a little bit of reduction to their healing. Inequity, guess what? You're out of here. What's this? We now have 5 free mastery points, so guess where we're going to spend these? We're going to go into Mystic Dispersion. We can run 5 out of 5 Mystic Dispersion with full recoil setup. If you don't want to run full MD, guess what? You can drop it down to 3, you can drop it down to 4. You could also put some more points into Despair if you want that little bit of extra utility. But guys, we're Mystic heavy. We want 5 out of 5. This is a perfect example of how to run recoils and Mystic Dispersion in the single mastery setup. Great to use if you're running it in BGs and you want to be that slightly annoying person. They see that you have recoils. They do not expect you to have MD. Yes, you will be sacrificing a little bit of health and the recoil damage, but your defenders will be freaking annoying and they will hit harder. Now, if I'm looking at this and I want to jump into BGs or AQ or Alliance War, guess what? I want my health to stay pretty damn high. So what I like to do, if I'm running into BGs and Alliance War and AQ, I will make sure my Coagulate is maxed out at 3 out of 3. So this little liquid courage here that's draining our health. No, sorry, it's double edge. My bad. Guys, bear with me. This double edge right here, see how you get this bleed debuff on you? You're always going to take damage unless you have immunities to bleed and poison. So if you can reduce that and keep more health over time, guess what? Run 3 out of 3 in Coagulate. You can also go to friggin' Satur. I don't friggin' know why anyone runs this. I don't personally know anyone that runs this, but it'll reduce the duration of the bleeds. Me personally, I don't worry about it. If I'm rocking around in the battlegrounds, I want something like this. I still want Limber. I still want MD. I still want my willpower. I definitely want Coagulate. Of course, the points are interchangeable. You can take off MD if you want. But I like the MD on the defenders to make them super freaking annoying. But DD, I want to deal a lot of damage. I want to deal a lot of damage. I don't care about MD. We're going to take that off. Also don't care about Limber. I just want a general questing team that's going to absolutely annihilate the opponent. Guys, I've got something for you. This glass cannon, guess what? We left it at 1 out of 3. We can take that all the way up to 3 out of 3. That's 7.2% attack increase. We got 4 more points. Guess what, guys? Deep wounds. If you've got a lot of freaking bleeders, chuck in the deep wounds. Assassin. Always like to just leave it at 1 out of 5. 5 out of 5. Guess what? It's great. We don't have enough points. It's only the last 18% of the champion that you're facing. We leave it at 1 out of 5. Now, we've got 2 more points if I'm looking to deal a lot of damage. What I would probably do is, me personally, if I was using this for questing and I have a lot of bleed heavy champions, I would probably chuck those last 2 points into deep wounds. So there's a lot of skill champions that greatly benefit off recoils and deep wounds. So my everyday questing, if anyone's curious, this is just all general content. This is for AQ, this is for Alliance War, because we don't really care about Alliance War. This is for basically everything in my game. This is the mastery setup that I run. That's pretty much covered every single aspect of masteries that you will need to know in this game. Of course, there are other ways that you can set this up. Everyone's going to have different opinions to what they think is best, what they don't think is best, what they want to run, what they want to change, but this is just a beginners to intermediate to advanced masteries guide, and I hope that it helps you guys. So, this is DD, and we're signing out. This video has probably gone for a lot longer than I expected, or that I intended, but I hope you guys can take something away from this, because I know DD is for the community, and I hope that I can help you guys in one way or another. Guys, I hope everyone has a lovely day and a lovely night. And I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.